Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into a really interesting single community event today, Community Connect 2025. On the surface, it looks like, a free full-day event, networking, well-being.
Right. But when you look closer at the structure, it's actually quite clever. It's blending like hard professional networking with digital skills.
And health services, like
Yeah.
right there, immediately available.
Exactly. It's quite a mix. And I think the event itself is a brilliant case study for how community-led initiatives can work towards, well, equity.
Okay, so the specifics first. It's happening Thursday, October 23rd, 2025.
That's right, at the Living Room Library in Angel, Edmonton, 4th Street Library, basically.
Got it. And the organizers?
It's WO Consultancy CIC, so a community interest company.
Ah, a CIC, meaning their profits go back into the community. That's key.
Definitely. And they're not doing it alone. They've partnered up with some pretty significant local players, Enfield Council, Enfield Libraries.
Makes sense with the venue. And other local partners, too, it seems.
Yeah. So the real mission for you listening today isn't about memorizing the timetable or anything.
No.
It's about getting under the skin of why they're doing this. Why deliberately mix, CV workshops and mental health chats and free haircuts.
Right. We want to unpack the thinking behind it. Why this fusion is seen as, well, essential for real community growth.
And that why it really stems from a specific story, doesn't it? A story about dignity, about access.
Yeah, let's get into that, the heart of the event's inspiration.
This is so important because it explains why the well-being part isn't just tacked on, it's central.
Okay.
The founder of WO Consultancy, Williams Omoke, shared this really powerful personal experience. It basically became the spark for the event's health focus.
Okay, what happened?
So a few years back, he needed a minor procedure, a facial biopsy, on the bridge of his nose.
Right.
Afterwards, he asked the medical staff, could he have a plaster that was closer to his skin tone?
Seems like a reasonable request.
You'd think so, but they apologized and said, sorry, we only have the standard bright pink ones.
Wow. Okay. That detail. Just the lack of something so basic in a medical setting.
It's more than just an inconvenience, isn't it? It's that feeling of being unseen.
Yeah. In a moment when you're already vulnerable. That must have really stuck with him.
Absolutely. And his big insight from that was realizing how services, whether it's healthcare or career support, if they aren't designed with diverse realities in mind.
They send a message.
Exactly. They basically say, this wasn't built for you.
Yeah.
And feeling overlooked like that constantly, it's not just about your health in that moment. It builds up. It creates real barriers.
So the connection is, if you feel invisible when you go to the doctor, that hits your confidence, which then spills over into how you feel about applying for jobs or networking.
That's the logic. You can't really grab opportunities or put yourself out there professionally if your basic sense of self, your wellness, your self-esteem is being chipped away at.
Okay, I see the link now.
So Community Connect is trying to actively bridge those gaps. Opportunity, health, hope, that's their phrase.
And they do it by providing these very specific, very visible services.
Yeah, services that basically shout, we see you, we hear you. They're using the event itself as a tool to fight that marginalization, offering support that's immediate, culturally sensitive.
Okay, that totally reframes the speaker lineup then. It's not just a random collection of talks. It's like an integrated curriculum.
Precisely.
Let's start with the first theme, building and digital futures. Seems focused on co-ops and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, definitely focus on different ways of working. You've got Stanley Mwangi from Spacey 4 and Outlandish. He's talking digital sector stuff, freelancing, innovation, but specifically community collaboration.
And the co-op model seems important here.
Hugely important. Stanley's work and others there really emphasize alternatives to the standard corporate path. Cooperative models are a big part of that.
Can you just quickly explain what makes a co-op different for anyone listening who isn't sure?
Sure. So think of a typical company, often owned by external shareholders, right? They get the profits, set the direction.
Yeah.
A cooperative is fundamentally different. It's owned and controlled by its members, usually the employees, democratically run.
Okay.
And they're gaining traction because, well, they often offer more job security, they're more stable in downturns, profits are shared. It addresses some of those basic inequalities and how we work.
Got it. That context is really helpful. And then linking that idea to a physical industry. Samuel Eziyama.
Yes, founder of Alter Create Builders CIC. He's talking about construction, but through a community lens, how his enterprise helps locals get skills and overcome barriers in that trade.
So practical skills, but within a community-focused structure.
Exactly. And then Maddie Nagabian and Natasha Natarajan, also from Outlandish and Spacey 4, they double down on that co-op idea, explaining how those structures boost creativity, sustainability.
So it's a deliberate push towards more resilient, community-based ways of earning a living, not just funneling people into existing, maybe precarious jobs.
But
Okay, but if we're talking collaboration, democratic work
yeah,
that needs people who feel confident, grounded, how does the event shift from the collective to the individual?
that's where the second theme comes in. Identity, art, and self-management. It acts as the bridge, really.
How so?
It kicks off with Georgia Dodsworth. She's worked with places like Google DeepMind, the Barbican, quite high profile.
Okay.
And she's opening the day talking about balance, boundaries, professional life, basically setting that foundation of self-care as like a necessary starting point for everything else.
I see. So start with looking after yourself, then move to the practical stuff. Makes sense.
Then you get Hannah Balogan. She's all about the entrepreneurial hustle, but in beauty. Practical advice, building clients, staying inspired, freelance life.
Yeah, very hands-on.
And Priscilla Aqua Arhin's session sounds fascinating, founder of Soulprint HM.
Right.
She's talking about turning personal struggles into cultural storytelling through design, through fashion, how reclaiming your identity through art can actually be a powerful professional asset.
Wow. Okay, so that's covering a lot of ground. Self-care, practical business, personal identity.
And then tying it all back to essential support systems is the third theme. Employability and health in the digital age.
This feels critical. You mentioned Aishia Hunt from NHS Talking Therapies.
Yes, leading a really frank conversation about mental health, focused on breaking stigma, promoting access, but crucially culturally sensitive NHS therapy.
That phrase again. Culturally sensitive. That links right back to the founder's plaster story, doesn't it?
Absolutely, making sure the services actually fit the people they're meant to serve, acknowledging different needs, different backgrounds.
Okay. And what about the digital age part? Future readiness.
Williams Omope himself closes out the talks. He's tackling AI, artificial intelligence, and how digital tools are changing the job search landscape.
That's huge right now.
It is. And he's also launching WO Consultancy's new digital inclusion courses at the same time.
Why is AI so critical for this audience, do you think?
Well, think about automated resume screening. Those algorithms, they can easily filter out candidates just because of, say, cultural phrasing on a CV, or maybe a career path that isn't perfectly linear.
Bias baked into the tech.
Potentially, yes. So understanding how these tools work, how to navigate them effectively, it's not a nice to have anymore. It's basic digital literacy for anyone looking for work today.
Okay, that makes total sense. And it leads perfectly into the interactive zones, right, where the talk becomes action.
Exactly. This is where the philosophy really hits the ground. Free professional services right there, right then, application.
These zones seem like the engine of the whole thing, reinforcing that idea that how you feel, how you look, your mental health, it's all part of the job hunt package.
Totally integrated.
So let's break them down. Zone 1, look good, feel good zone. This sounds purely about confidence.
Practical, immediate boosts.
Like free professional haircuts. Chris Cutter.
Yep. And express manicures from Hannah Balogan.
Styling advice on a budget, Sophia Yekwai. That's useful.
And this one's key for employability. Free professional headshots.
Oh, yeah. Nathan Gardner, another accident studio. I know how much good headshots cost and how vital they are for LinkedIn applications.
It's a real investment they're making in how people present themselves professionally. It removes a significant barrier.
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate for a second. These are quick services, right? An express manicure, a haircut. How do we know this leads to lasting change? And how do they even manage the demand? It's just one day.
That's a fair point. The sources suggest the immediate goal is that confidence spark. A connection, making people feel valued in that moment.
Okay.
Capacity-wise, yeah, it's managed. Sign-up sheets, probably some prioritization maybe for those who need a headshot for an application right now. But the key is that this practical zone sits right alongside the health zone.
Right, showing the integration. What's in the health zone?
It's pretty comprehensive. You've got Asha Hunta again from NHS Talking Therapies.
Okay.
Maureen Nanawana from the African Health Policy Network that speaks to the culturally specific support again. Reps from the local NHS Primary Care Network, Enfield Unity PCN Sharon McLean and Jessica Spry, plus a healthy lifestyle advisor, Fateha Ali.
So it's not just leaflets, it's actual people you can talk to, get advice from.
Seems so. Access to consultation, Culturally relevant resources right there.
That really is the defining feature, isn't it? You could potentially get CV advice, grab a professional photo, and then chat with an NHS therapist all in maybe an hour.
That integration is the whole point.
Yeah.
And then the third zone provides the career scaffolding, the employment and business zone.
Okay, what's that?
You've got James Baxter from Enfield BIPC, that's the Business and Intellectual Property Center. So proper business guidance.
Useful for the entrepreneurs.
Definitely. Then Natalie Omari for specific CV help, career advice, and importantly, life skills coaches from Enfield Council are available for a few hours in the afternoon.
Wow, that covers a lot. Immediate practical help, and the fact it's all free, all day, that really drives home the equity point. Removing cost barriers for stuff that's usually expensive.
Absolutely. And obviously, putting on something like this, a free full-day event,
Huh.
it requires huge community collaboration.
Yeah, you can't do this alone.
They're even encouraging networking during the event. Little incentives like free goodie bags and networking bingo cards with a raffle prize.
Networking bingo. Keeps it light.
But the real story is the collaboration behind the scenes, how different organizations came together. Two partners really stand out as examples.
Okay.
First, NYCC. It's led by a guy named Chris. They generously sponsored most of this year's event.
Wow, major sponsor.
Yeah, but the sources emphasize it wasn't just the money, it was Chris's mentorship, his belief in WO Consultancy's mission over time. That was crucial.
That kind of support goes way beyond a check. It's validation, enabling them to grow.
Totally. And then there's the Black Heritage Hub, founded by Diane John. This is pure community spirit.
What do they do?
They sponsored a raffle gift, which is great, but they also provided 3 volunteers for the day.
So practical help too. Money, mentorship, and people power.
Exactly. That's how networking and belief turn into real action.
These partnerships really show the Community Connect mission in practice, don't they?
Yeah.
Organizations genuinely working together, filling gaps, sharing knowledge.
Precisely. Addressing those service gaps where maybe mainstream structures haven't quite adapted yet.
So, zooming out, final thoughts. This deep dive into Community Connect 2025, it's really shown as a masterclass, hasn't it? Blending hard skills, AI, co-ops, construction skills, with fundamental wellness, mental health access, self-care, looking after yourself physically and mentally.
Yeah. And we started with that story from the founder, right?
Yeah.
The plaster. Such a small thing, but revealing this deep gap around feeling seen.
Yeah.
And this event, it uses very specific local partners like NYCC, like the Black Heritage Hub, to actively fill that gap with personalized, culturally sensitive support, which leaves us with a question, I think, for you, the listener, to chew on. If it's often these community initiatives stepping up to provide essential services like culturally specific health support or job coaching mixed with free haircuts,
Yeah.
what specific changes, policy changes, or structural shifts could the big players' mainstream services, government bodies, actually adopt to intentionally build in this level of personal, culturally sensitive care so that everyone feels seen, feels heard right from the start, whether they're walking into a job center or a doctor's office, not just relying on grassroots efforts to plug the holes.
That's a powerful thought to end on. How do we make being seen the default, not the exception?